what we do here is go back.
Let's see if this works. And yeah, that looks like that works. Happy days. Good evening. It is Saturday, I always got to check this, 2nd of May 2020. Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and sat over there in the hot seat is Kath. So if you've got any burning questions for either of us, you can message directly at mike@mikesunboxing.com or just message Kath. I think it comes up with the same email anyway, regardless. So how are we all doing tonight? Tonight's live stream, we're going to be answering your burning questions. So if you've got anything you want to ask us, feel free to dump it in the chat, or if you want to, you can PM us on Discord or whatever. Although you better PM Kath because mine's set to Do Not Disturb. What a absolute week. Absolutely shattered, and that is a good reason why I've got an absolute shed ton of coffee here, as you can see. So tonight we're going to be keeping ourselves awake and alive with some coffee from Beanies. Got some flavoured coffees. It's not a sponsor spot, but I saw these on offer and I couldn't resist. It was 4 pots for £10, so I decided to get 8. It is my birthday and Kath's birthday. Kath's birthday is tomorrow the 3rd, mine's on the 6th this coming week, so because it's obviously lockdown and we can't get out, so obviously I opted for the birthday cake flavoured coffee as a temporary birthday celebration for us both. So hopefully that is going to be good. So yeah, like I said, tonight we are going to be doing, well, answering all your questions, all that kind of stuff. And already we've got a super chat come in. So for those of you that don't know what the heck is going on, when we get a super chat come in, we get the disco ball goes off, so you get to see all the nice flashy lights, a little bit of RGB. Literally that is RGB, that is just red, green and blue. So let's say hello to some of you in the chat and also see who the heck sent that super chat. It looks like it is the British noob who says, Michael, you're late again. Yeah, I am generally always late.
Don't pay.
That is pretty much my default mode, late.
So I better not get rid of that.
I'll
put people.
That's right. So today in the chat we got Angry Doge in the house, and it's Angry Doge's birthday this week as well. Well, earlier in the week, so happy birthday to you.
All us angry balls.
Yeah, all of us angry balls are having birthdays at the same time. Rawfish says, why is it going to be so early? I won't be awake at 5 AM. Okay, I'm not too sure.
Oh, because you set it wrong.
Yeah, because I set it wrong to begin with.
I'm busy now.
And we got another super chat, which who's that? That's come from Skystalker.
Oh, thanks.
10 Canadian rupees. And let's see what he says. Skystalker says, we still love you, even though I'm late. Well, thank you very much. And again, when you get a super chat, the RGB disco bulb goes off, and Kath gets to get up and get a little bit of exercise. So being that we're all under lockdown and we're not getting out much, the more super chats we get, the better for Kath's backside. Happy days. Let's see, it's got Matthew Days in the house. Good evening to you. Rawfish, Angry Doge, British noobs in the house. How you doing? Captain Meese Adventures says, anyone having a drink? Well, yeah, we'll be drinking lots of coffee. Still taking my tablets for my weird ailments I'm having. So currently I'm off the booze, which is a nightmare actually, because we're in lockdown and we're all kind of working from home. Generally, I kind of sort of work from home anyway because of the YouTube channel. This is the ideal opportunity to get absolutely bladdered on a daily basis and not have to worry about a hangover. But unfortunately, I can't, because I can't drink with the tablets. So we'll no doubt be making up for that as soon as I'm off the tablets. So Skystalker says, hiya. Comma or asterisk or whatever that thing is says hi. Supernova Wolf says, yay, another Mike stream. Noah Ramos is back in, says hi. He says, hi Timmy. Timmy! Proper South Park.
Oh, can't we do Timmy's mallet?
AKA Liam says, hey. Milch Monster says, hi there from Germany. Guten Abend, meinen Freunden. It's German. Multilingual. English, American, and a bit of German. Glenn says, good evening. Supernova Wolf Ghost Adder says, hi Mike. or he actually says hello, Meek. Obviously not quite got used to your new keyboard quite yet. Clinch Sam says evening. Oh, evening Sam, how you doing? Supernova Wolf says, laugh my ass off, I still didn't get the answer to why my PC doesn't post when I overclock my RAM. Did I not answer that one? I do apologise. Well, maybe we'll have a look at that in a little bit. Clinch Sam says, sticky toffee pudding coffee. Lol, nice. Bean is, I don't know if you can get them all over the world. Definitely you can get them in the UK, obviously, because we bought them. But I think they do them in other countries as well. They do an amazing range of different tastes and flavours. And
unfortunately, they've come out with 2 new ones.
yeah, they have actually come out with 2 new ones since we placed the order, which was Jaffa Cake was one of them, and Cherry Bakewell flavour. OMG. Cherry Bakewell flavour coffee. What is going on? It does say actually for the tablets I'm taking I shouldn't be drinking caffeine as well, so if I keel over and don't make it through the rest of this stream, it's been a pleasure knowing you all. And thanks all for the super chats. And Kath will have to take over in my place. British Noob says, Sky Dunno, War. Oh dear, here we go. Varad says, hi Mike, how are you doing today? Yeah, not doing too bad, bit tired, but not doing too bad. My question is, which is the best RTX 2070 Super available right now in the market? Now that is a tricky one. 2070s at the moment, I would say, are probably not really the best bang for buck. You're probably better off with a 5700 XT, and it's probably saving the best part of anywhere between 50 to, well, yeah, probably more than 50, anywhere between up to about 75 to 100 pounds. Most of the 2070, actually no, 2070 Super. The 2070 is the one which is about £100 difference at the moment between the 5700 XT, so the 2070 Super is going to be an upgrade. That is a tough one. That is actually a very good tough one. Depends where you are as well. If you're in America, the prices at the moment are slightly preferable, and with the exchange rate and what have you as is, actually does work out so you get some pretty decent bargains over there in the good old US of A. If you're in the UK, a 2070 Super, I would say probably your best bet would be... That is a tough one. I would go to PC Part Picker and stick it in and see what comes up. There's quite a few different models available. Personally, I'd probably end up going for a Zotac. They generally tend to be good value for money. You don't always get all the bells and whistles, but generally they do some excellent amp versions, which are factory clocks, so you don't have to mess around with them too much. So I would definitely look for a Zotac RTX 2070 Super. Asus ones, you always get the Asus tax, but they do look pretty. MSI maybe. It's a tough one. I would be probably more drawn to the Zotac ones if I'm completely honest with you. Wayne Williams says, hello people. Noob's a very bad person, but yes, we know that already. Captain Me's Adventure says, Mike, where did you get the coffee from? I bought it online. Didn't need to leave the house, which at the moment is actually probably the best thing for everybody. Like the NHS says, stay home, save lives, protect the NHS. See, that's ingrained in my brain now. It's working. The government stuff is working. I am being brainwashed into staying home and not leaving the house. Does seem to be working. ClickTech's in the house. Good evening to you, Kev. Ghost Adder says, Kath's unboxing reviews and how to. Now, wouldn't that be a great thing? If those of you who don't know, actually, Kath has got her own YouTube channel, which is called ShopSmart, which you can probably find some links, or someone will post some links. And Kath posts bargains all around the world from Amazon and stuff like that. But also posts the Lidl deals every week and Aldi deals every week and various other deals. So you can check out her channel there.
It's on my Facebook more.
In fact, actually, Kath's channel is getting some pretty decent views at the moment. There was a slightly viral video this week, which was the garden furniture one from Aldi, I think it was. Was it Lidl or Aldi, Kath?
It is Aldi.
It was Aldi. So Aldi do summer furniture, and that video went semi-viral this week. So nice one, Kath. Well done.
Semi-viral, but for the channel.
For the channel, it was. Sunny says, "Hey Mike, how you doing? do you think a 2700X will last? Oh yeah, definitely. The 2700X is a bloody good processor. All those threads, all those cores, pretty decent clocks as well. As long as you get a good motherboard to support it, then yeah, no reason why not. It's well, the predecessor, the 1700X, still is an amazing processor now, even kind of, what's this, 3-4 years later almost. So yes, there, that answers that question. Yes, I successfully answered a question. It had to happen. Noah Ramos says, I'm leaving for college in January and I need a computer. Should I buy one now or wait a little? Now that is the question. That really is the question. We can all see that PC component prices are gradually creeping up, and for power supplies and SSDs particularly, and NVMe drives, M.2 drives, that kind of stuff, we can see those prices jumping up considerably. Luckily, because we know that DDR5 is going to be kind of towards the tail end of the year, DDR4 prices are relatively stable, and in some instances actually coming down to really, really low prices. On our Discord channel this week, or Discord server rather, in the bargains channel, there's been quite a few random things posted. Seam at Night's done a fantastic job listing loads of stuff on there, which has been really cheap. I think there was some Patriot Viper RAM, 16 gigs, which was kind of like £58 or something for 16 gigs of DDR 3200, which I thought was fantastic value for money. So yeah, Noah, it's a difficult one, mate. I really don't know. You could wait a little bit and see if things kind of pan out and the prices start getting back to some sort of normality. I would say, because of the human malware and the kind of no real end in sight of that, and also the kind of the distancing stuff going on, factories and businesses having to make massive changes just to be able to open the doors, I can see that's going to be a knock-on of cost. It's not a cheap thing to do. There's all those kind of furloughed workers, and businesses have had to pay stuff where there's not been people going into shops and what have you. Mail orders not been as bad, but I would say that prices are likely to increase. So probably, it's always a gamble. It really is a gamble. I would say generally the summer months are when things tend to get cheaper, especially in the PC industry. They then start ramping up towards the tail end of kind of late summer into kind of like your August months, October. Then all of a sudden you get all the sales hitting in November, Black Friday, all that kind of stuff, and then obviously then Christmas sales. So at the moment now, we're probably getting towards the tail end of when things are slightly cheaper. Again, it's a complete crapshoot. You really never know. Essentially, if you see a bargain, jump on it. I did see actually on UK Hot Deals this week, laptops seem to be going very, very good prices, especially with the new AMD chips as well in them. The 3500Us in particular from Lenovo have been going for fantastic money. So if you're after a laptop rather than a computer, maybe a good chance to jump in now. Packer Backer says, that's a really difficult one to say. Don't say it too many times. Could you do a video on how to transfer OS from one PC NVMe to a newly built one? That is actually a tricky thing. I have been looking for a NVMe hardware solution to copy M.2 drives, and currently there isn't one. It doesn't exist. It is not a thing at the moment. So SSDs you can do, traditional SATA SSDs, pretty simple to do. With NVMe, realistically what you're going to need to do is to have a motherboard with 2 slots and use something like the Macrium software, which we did a video on a while back, and just use that to clone the NVMe or M.2 drives. I think that's the only way of really doing it at the moment. If anyone knows of a hardware solution for copying M.2 drives, please do let us all know in the comments. It'd be really interesting to see if that is a thing. Supernova Wolf says, on PC Part Picker it shows a power color. I think it's power color, I forgot. Okay, 5700 XT for £350, an amazing deal. Yeah, that does sound good. 350 for a 5700 XT is, yeah, pretty decent. There has been some, I think it's the MSI, was it the Evoke, which oddly went for about 330, 340. I think it was on UK Hot Deals. That was that didn't last very long, but I don't think it's a particularly good card. So it is swings and roundabouts there. But yeah, that does seem like a pretty decent deal. Jay Waz says, hello Kath. Joker says, Mike, my laptop struggles to run games. It has A8 3530MX and 6620G. Any suggestions? It's not the most powerful of chips. So realistically, the only thing you can do is lower your resolution in the game itself. Try and see if there's any resolution scaling. So you can maybe run it at 1080p, but 50% scaling, so 720p. You may be able to get it even lower than that. But essentially, all you can do in that particular situation is, well, you can try disabling programs which are running to give the system more RAM and a bit more room to breathe. But other than that, it's just really lowering your settings on the game. Hopefully you would have VSync on anyway if it's a laptop, because it's very unlikely that your laptop, especially with that processor and graphics, is going to have any form of FreeSync. So yeah, putting VSync on is going to help, because that's going to normalize the frame levels. Also frame limiters as well. Try and maybe use a frame limiter. If you try and limit the frames to 30 frames per second, you'll get kind of a console-like experience. Not ideal, but it will possibly do the job. And again, because you're lowering those frame rates, giving the system a little bit more breathing room to do other things that it needs to do. Yeah, Supernova also asking, Jokers, what's the cause for the slowing down? Does it slow down while playing games, or does it just generally feel slower than usual? That's another thing to check out. If it's a laptop, make sure that there's no dust or anything in any of the fans. Give all that stuff a good clean out. Maybe run a malware scan, see if there's anything running in the background which is taking up CPU cycles. That is always a good thing to do.
What's a good one to use?
I would probably use the Malwarebytes, the free version. That is really good. I have that on pretty much every PC, and I run a check every now and then manually just to make sure there's nothing going on. That's always a good one. And obviously make sure you've got Windows Defender running all the time as well. Or I suppose it's Microsoft Antivirus now, or whatever it is they're calling it. It used to be Windows Defender. Yeah, Jailbaits is finest software. Joker says it feels slower than usual. So yeah, definitely worth maybe running some scans and seeing what's going on there. What else do you see? Captain Meets Adventures, going back to the previous statement about jobs and pricing, says, I wonder how many shops will reopen. Well, they're saying actually in the UK that they think that basically 1/5 of all shops will not open again, which is going to have a pretty massive effect, because the high street is kind of dying a death as it is anyway, apart from kind of local villages where people tend to walk and go shopping. But the shopping centres these days, like in Bristol, we've got the Broadmead Shopping Centre, or whatever it's called now. That is pretty much like a ghost town most of the time anyway, without having to have all these other restrictions. So be interested to see what happens there. Matthew Day says, I think I've seen USB to NVMe. Yes, you can get USB NVMe to USB to NVMe, which you could again use Macrium software to clone the disks that way. That's a really good way of doing it. Yeah, ClickTech saying that Sabrent do a USB-C to NVMe enclosure, which yeah is another way of doing it. If you've only got one slot and you need to clone a drive, then that is definitely a good way of doing it, to get a USB-C or just a USB-A drive and get it that way. What else we got? Ghost Adder says, hi Erin. Everyone's saying hello to Erin.
I'm not even sure if Erin's in there or if that's just the digger noob.
Yeah, I think that's just a dig at noob. Where else are we? Let's have a look. Yeah, Noah Ramos says check for bloatware, all that kind of stuff. Again, the Malwarebytes software is really, really good for that kind of thing. Very useful indeed. AKA Liam says looking for an nvidia card. Nvidia cards at the moment they're still quite expensive for what they are. AMD is definitely catching up, and now that the driver situation has kind of leveled out a little bit, it definitely does seem to be AMD are kind of in a strong position again, which is good to see. Kieran Atkinson says, what RAM is in the PC behind Mike? Is it the V color? Yes, that is the V color. That was the original one. That is the original Prism RGB RAM. That's 32 gigs of DDR3200, which does look darn nice. It's not the new one, the new Prism 2 with the fake RAM sticks. Those are actual real RAM sticks. and all being controlled by the Gigabyte B450 Gaming X motherboard, which it really works really well with. XMP profile, flick the switch, works straight away. Absolutely brilliant. So Tangel says, Mike, my X370 Prime Pro is giving me BS these days. USB port is janky, blue screens, ordered a B450 Tough Pro with the new heat sinks. What do you think? Yeah, B450 Tough Pro's not a bad board. I would have said that the X370 Prime would have been the better board had it been fully functioning and working. I've been really lucky. I've got two of them and they've been through hell and high water from the various PC changes and builds and falling off of shelves, all that kind of stuff. And touch wood, both of them are working fine. One of them is actually in the PC build, which I've done for Chris, who's the master trainer over at Synax UK. Still working on that to get that finished off for him. He's actually, well, he's not, I am. I'm looking for a inexpensive, I'm not going to say cheap, but inexpensive monitor around about the 24-inch mark and a RGB keyboard and mouse to go with that set. So if any of you guys have got any good options for that at the moment, you've maybe seen a bargain. I've scoured Amazon, PC Part Picker and Hot UK Deals. I've not really come up with anything which really does tick all the boxes for me, either price, features or whatever. So if any of, yeah, or unboxability that I haven't already bought and I don't want to unbox. So yeah, if you see anything, let me know. Comma or whatever the symbol is says, I can't find any decent RAM for under 80. Whereabouts is that, in the UK or is that in the States, or where where are you? Right, my throat's getting a little bit dry, so I think it's about time that we sample some of this coffee. So, Kath, you get a kettle on, and we'll. What flavour do you want? You choose. It's your birthday eve. Kath is slightly strange, where yesterday it was her birthday eve, today is her birthday eve, and then tomorrow is obviously your birthday. So she celebrates the days up to the birthday as well. It's starting to become a family thing. Oh, cream and cups. There we go. Happy days. Looking forward to this. So let us know in the comments, which one should we try? Being it's the birthday, should we go with the birthday cake flavour and see what that's like? I'm actually quite intrigued to see that. I know that the ones over here are the kind of more coffee-like ones. Baristas. Obviously they're all the barista style ones. Pretty much know what they're going to be like, but these are the ones which I'm more interested in.
Sticky toffee pudding on that side.
I know. The sticky toffee should have gone there, really. Oh, it's all gone full. Techwear Phantom 87 is a good budget RGB keyboard. Techwear Phantom is not a budget keyboard. Not the budget I'm looking at. I don't really want to spend more than £20 for the keyboard and mouse. We're talking membrane, definitely no Omron switches, all that kind of stuff. I don't even mind if it's not got a laser in the mouse, as long as it's got a ball and it actually tracks, I don't care. British Noob is jumped in with a super chat of £2 and says, happy early birthday, Kath.
Thanks, Noob.
Did you hear that, Noob? She says thank you. Milk Monster says, look for Ballistic Sport or Rip Jewels. Angry Doe says, membrane is for pros. Oh, yes.
You don't need a membrane.
Comma says, yeah, UK.
That's for the $80.
That's for the 80. All right, for the RAM. Yeah, we should be able to find you something for that. What motherboard and processor are you running? I'm sure we'll be able to get something sorted out. Oh, by the way, today, I don't know if you've noticed already, but we are currently filming on the glory that is the new Lumix G80. So the G7 has been upgraded. There's a G7. So that has become my B cam now, and the A cam now is the Lumix G80. Managed to pick up a fantastic deal on UK Hot Deals, as per usual, and picked up the camera with the 25mm lens, which is equivalent to a 50mm because it's micro four thirds and all that kind of stuff. Come with a tripod and a microphone and an extra battery. £450 posted. Awesome deal. I'm very, very pleased with that. So you probably won't notice there's any difference at all, but what you will notice is if you look at the unboxing reviews and how-to sign, the G7, when it was in autofocus mode, you'd find it hunting quite a lot. It would go in, Kev's breaking stuff, and it would go in and out of focus quite a lot. So you'll probably find that the colour profile is better, and the actual, well, the whole thing should be better.
Went back into colour better after the
Yeah,
lines.
and yeah, it's basically a better processor all over. So who was that who just put another super chat in? British noob. Skystalker says happy early birthday, Kath, and has sent
No, I've
us
done all the wrong things.
5 Canadian dollaroonies. Skystalker says Mike's coffee and reviews. ClickTech says they all taste disgusting. Coffee, yuck. Now, Kev, as a man of a certain age like myself, it is a scientific fact that if you drink, I think it's 2 cups of coffee a day, you are slightly less likely to get prostate issues as you get older.
But I think that's real coffee.
So there's a selling point. It might be real coffee, but caffeine, it might be, I don't know.
What flavour are we going?
So what flavour, are we going with a birthday cake? Let's go with a birthday cake flavour. So I've already taken the foil off of it because happy frickin' birthday. Right, let's get some of this on the go. Actually, I wonder if you should shake it to mix up the stuff because there's tiny little bits of chocolate in here as well.
Shut up.
Little chocolatey chips. So let's give it a little bit of a shaky. Ghost Hunter says, why are we talking about prostate? It's a very important thing. Men's health is an important thing. And being that probably a large percentage of the viewership is male, gotta look after your stuff. Look after your junk.
So messy. Do you want cream?
No, milk, please. Oh, it's a shame that YouTube isn't smelly vision because that smells. That smells absolutely amazing. If that tastes half as good as it smells, it's going to be amazing. You know what it's like if you get herbal tea? Herbal tea is amazing because you put herbal tea bags in a tea, you put it in, it infuses, and you go, oh, that smells lovely. And then you drink it and it's like, oh, it's just like hot water. So hopefully this is going to be tasty and smell great. Supernova Wolf says, Mike, a very good monitor for the money is the Yamaha Blackhawk 24.5 inch monitor. Yes, it's got a TM panel, but for £125 you get a 75Hz refresh rate, a 1 millisecond response time, and an adjustable stand. Now it's funny you should say that. I was looking at the Yamaha monitors on Amazon. There was a 24.5 Blackhawk. I think it's the updated version of that one, which has got display ports, HDMI, DVI, speakers, and what else was it had? Oh, and a USB hub built in, and it was £100, but they're waiting for stock to come in. So that's the one I'm kind of edging towards at the moment. But yeah, I think that's a good shout. Sontajel says, coffee is a man's drink. Sit down, boys. Just don't sit down too hard because the prostate. Joker says, I can smell it through the screen. ClickTech says, who sent you the coffee? No one. I bought it myself. It was a cash transaction, well, PayPal transaction from the Beaniz website. I think it's beaniz.co.uk. Can't remember what it was now. But yeah, they had a special offer. So the barista ones here were special offer. So 4 of them for £10 posted. And then I saw after it's like buy any 4 flavours for £10 also. So I was like, well, be rude not to. So that's why we ended up with all of them. So we'll end up probably drinking all of this tonight, and I'm going to be absolutely off my coconuts on coffee. Happy days. Joker says I smell it with my eyes. Happy. Good one. Sontajel says it's my birthday today. Cheers. Oh, happy birthday to you.
Everyone's birthdays around now.
Irakli the Pro says how to fix GeForce 8800 GT code 43. Now that is always a good one. Basically with any graphics card, if you're getting error code 43, that is where the driver's not loading properly. An 8800 GT is a slightly older card now, and they were notoriously hot running, and generally they would desolder themselves. So it could be that the card is actually starting to desolder itself and you're getting issues. if you're getting glitches as well, or you've had glitches, memory problems, that kind of stuff, the card might just be dying. It's probably getting on a little bit now. It's possibly had a little bit of a hard life. Realistically, I would uninstall all the NVIDIA drivers using DDU, as I've shown in a previous video. If you just go to Mike's Unboxing, the channel, type in DDU or NVIDIA graphics, and you'll find there's about 2 or 3 different videos we've done as time's gone on and the kind of the look and feel. Drop the mic. As the look and feel has gone on, I've updated it a little bit. So definitely give that a go. And basically uninstall the drivers, but then rather than reinstalling the NVIDIA drivers, do a Windows update. Just keep on doing Windows update until there's no updates left. Generally, 9 times out of 10, that fixes it if there isn't a hardware problem or some sort of really bad problem with Windows itself. Sometimes you get to the point where you just have to throw in the towel and reinstall Windows, or at least do a in-place upgrade. So basically download the latest version of Windows using the media creation tool, then run setup from in Windows, and then it will just update your Windows files. And again, 9 times out of 10, as long as there isn't a specific hardware issue, that will rectify most faults. So give that a go. Varad says, affordable X570 motherboard for Ryzen 3900X. Also, happy birthday at CAF. Affordable X570 motherboard for Ryzen 3900. That at the moment is a tough one. We're waiting for the Tomahawk board to hit, the new Tomahawk X570, which if it's going to land at $200 or approximately £180 in the UK, it's going to be a really, really good competition for the Asus Tough Gaming, which if it isn't in the same price league, I would say the Asus Tough Gaming is the board to go for. If you can pick it up for a decent price, because they do tend to be quite expensive. Yeah, a lot of people actually mentioned the Aorus Elite. I've not tried an Aorus Elite. I've not been a massive fan of Gigabyte boards.
Got some though.
Yeah,
Just not tried it. Smells nice.
Santa Gel says, if the 43 code, say it in a Scottish accent, burn it. I'm not quite sure what you mean there. Glenn's put in a decent one as well. Yeah, the Asus Prime X570-P. That is a really good board as well. Although that generally tends to be a little bit more expensive now. You do get that kind of Asus premium tax on it, but it is a really, really good board. Santa Gel says the B450 350 platform the same as the 570 in CPU performance. That's a difficult one because there's a lot of budget boards on the B450 and B350 chipset, so that's a difficult one to kind of confirm or deny. The X570 is going to be a better board because it is a more expensive premium board. It's in the 70 range rather than the others being in the 50 range, so it is generally going to be better. Milch Monster says ROG. Ooh, ROG boards, they are so expensive. Not as expensive as the Hero boards, but still. Wayne Williams says the MSI Meg X570 Ace is a great motherboard. Another option there, a little bit more expensive though, I think that one, the Ace. But again, you pay for what you get. Supernova Wolf says, have to go now. Hope everyone has a good time with their family during the lockdown and hope that everyone stays safe. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us this evening.
I'm going to say bye.
Noah Ramos says, hey Mike, could you read the tweet I at you with, as I can't send links over YouTube chat? Okay, I'll see if Catherine can grab that up. Can you see if there's a tweet from Noah?
A tweet?
A tweet. Joker says, I'm going with a Ryzen 5 2600X for my first build. Good choice, that is a great chip. Can't go too far wrong with that. Sotin Joel says, like the B350 Strix is the same performance as the Strix X570. Is it? Is it really? I find that very difficult to believe. I'm not saying it isn't because I've not had either board, so I couldn't confirm or deny such rumours. But that seems unlikely. But very possible. Goatee says, have you noticed any big price hikes on anything you've been looking to review or buy lately? Yeah, actually a very, very good example of that. For those of you, actually I must apologise for this. For those of you that have looked at the GameMax F15 case that I reviewed, must have been this week. Trying to look on the list, what did I do this week? No, it must have been last week. So absolutely a fantastic case, cannot fault it at all. Still using it for my main video editing PC and it's been absolutely flawless, keeps everything super, super cool. Absolutely great case. But unfortunately, I think possibly I did too good a review, and most of the UK stockists, Amazon and CCL, but the two that I've noticed mostly, CCL have actually put the price up from £60 or £59, whatever it was, to just over £80 or £89 I saw, I think. And people are hating on me in the comment section for the video saying, oh thanks Mike, you reviewed this and now they price hiked it. I honestly didn't know that was going to happen. I thought it was a fantastic value for money. I would say, hand on heart, at £80 or even £90, don't buy it. Protest with your wallet, because that's just insane. Yes, it is a very nice case, but when it gets close to that £80–90 mark, you're in a completely different league altogether for cases, and there's so many more options available. So in that case, pun intended, I'd probably go with the NZXT 510 or something like that, pay a little bit more and get that, because it is a superior case. But I still stand by my original review at the £60 that I paid when I bought it, or £60 plus £5 postage, whatever it was. Unbeatable, literally unbeatable. And if I had the choice, and if it wasn't totally boring, whenever I needed to replace the cases on my PC behind or a PC, whatever it was, that would be definitely my go-to case, because it is really, really nice to build in. Loads of room, looks great, and it keeps things super cool. So
sell it themselves?
I don't think they do. No, Kath's just asking, do GameMax sell the cases themselves? I don't think they do. I think they just got their website and then they sell things through various vendors. There are other places out there in the UK which possibly you could get it from, possibly eBay being one. I haven't checked that, but at the moment CCL, to jack the price pretty much what is best part of 20% does seem excessive. I must.
Over 20% if it was 60 before.
I would actually like to, 25%, isn't it? I would actually like to speak to someone at GameMax or get them to answer and say, like, are you charging CCL more now, or are they just taking the piss? Excuse my French. Because that's essentially what they are. If they are paying a lot more for it to get it in, then fine, fair enough. In which case, you have to kind of look around at other options. But if they're just seeing a case being popular and jacking the price, that's just bang out of order and shouldn't be done. That's like bait and switch. That really is not good. And actually, I'm tempted to speak to CCL as well and see if they will answer the question. They probably won't share that kind of information with me, but it would be interesting to know.
Maybe do a daytime live stream as you do it.
Yeah, I might do that. I might do a live stream actually trying to work out whether it's a price hike or not. But I don't really want to throw CCL under the bus, and I don't really want to throw GameMax under the bus. But it would be nice to find out who it is this causing the problem. You never know, it could be the actual people who are making the case for GameMax have jacked their prices up because of what's been going on, and the costs are just being passed on to us, the end user. Who knows? No doubt we'll find out in good time. Comma says NZXT H510 or Sahara H600B. The Sahara H600B I liked for a lot of reasons, but I don't think it's in the same class.
You need to go back up for Noah's.
Noah's, what, I can't, where is it? Noah says...
It's yours actually, it's the link from Noah I put in.
Oh, what, that's secured Newegg one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to open up a link now. This could all go wrong. It could close down the screen. Oh, so this is the college build. Okay, so let's rate Noah's build. So he's going with a, I hope you don't mind me saying this out in front of the general public. Okay, so ASRock Phantom Gaming D Radeon RX 570 for $120. I'm not too sure what country are you in? Are you in the States? So that's going to be kind of something I'd have to consider price conversion wise, but $120 seems pretty reasonable for that, for a new card. Over here in the UK we've seen the RX 570s, used ones, which didn't particularly work well, for kind of £70–80 used or refurbished. So It's only a 4 gig model, but again, $120 doesn't seem that bad. Maybe someone who's in the US can kind of give me an idea of what that would be in UK pounds. $24 for a 120 gig SSD. Yep, fine. The RAM, DDR3000, $72. Again, GL RAM is good quality. Corsair CX550M, Corsair blah blah blah, Ryzen 5 1600 and B450 ASRock board. Yep, seems fine. The Ryzen 5 1600 seems excessively expensive at $147. I don't know if I'm missing something there, because normally that should be about $80. So that seems to be like double the price. So I would definitely look at that to see if you've got that wrong, or you've selected the wrong particular chip. That might be the older version, whereas the newer AF version, it should be half the price of that. So that will take you underneath the $500 mark. The ASRock motherboard, the B450 Pro 4, $89.99. Again, I'm not too sure on the conversion rate. Over here in the UK, that normally is about 75 to 80 pounds. So that sounds pretty reasonable. But overall, looks like a fantastic build actually. Yeah, that's a great little system. You might want to go a little bit higher up on the power supply, maybe a 500 watt or 550 if you can squeeze it. Again, if you change the processor for the AF version, which I'm sure is going to be cheaper than that $150. Yeah, because I'm sure the Ryzen 5 3600 is not far off that, about 160, 170 in the US at the moment. So yeah, definitely look into that and maybe what you can save there. Maybe put another $10, $15 on the power supply to update the power supply. But otherwise, Noah, your college build looks pretty decent. Hopefully that answers your question.
The 1600 AF is sold out everywhere.
If the 1600 AF is sold out everywhere, yeah,
And that's the cheapest 6-core available on Newegg.
that is, yeah, that's a tough one then, really. I would say try Amazon. See what Amazon are doing. I'm pretty sure they've got the 1600 AFs in stock. They have in the UK. I'm not sure, obviously, for America. Definitely give it a look. Milch Monster says, get a cooler. Stock cooler sucks. True. Peanut is awake. Good evening, Peanut. How are you doing? I'm talking to a hamster. Glenn is saying about the Strix B550 board that it is a tier E board, so 75 amp limit. Yeah, I thought that seemed a little bit different, because I'm sure the limit for the X570 is like double that. Anyway. GG says, I know a great budget case with tempered glass but no RGB. The Antec NX100 is one of the best budget cases. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. I was a massive fan of Antec for probably 10-15 years, from at least, yeah, probably more than that, yeah, from about 2000, 2001 up to probably 2015, 2016. Pretty much every case in the house was an Antec case, either a 900, a 900 V2, a 902. What else did we have?
You brought it up to date.
Previous,
spray painted it.
yeah, previous to that I had the P180, also had the P160. What else did I have? I had the 300 series as well. Basically everything was Antec, the whole lot.
Cheers then, buddy.
Yeah. Right, let's try this coffee anyway. Let's see what's going on before I spill it. It's going to be hot. I'm going to burn my little lips. Right. Cheers, everybody. Oh.
Is that nice or not? Your face doesn't tell. It looks like it's not nice.
Oh, no, that is something else. Have you put sugar in that?
Yeah. You have sugar, don't you?
Yeah.
I didn't put it in mine.
That is good. That is good.
Sorry.
Sorry, headphone users, for my slurp in there. So let's see, what is this? Please consume within 3 months. Well, that isn't going to be a problem. So ingredients are freeze-dried coffee and flavouring. There's 25 cups in a jar. Trying to see what's in it. It doesn't appear to have. Yeah, it's basically cream, sponge, and strawberry. I can taste in that, and it's only 2 calories a cup because it's like saccharin or whatever. So you've got that kind of little bit of a saccharin aftertaste, which you do get with those kind of diet drinks.
It's not
Very
2
good.
calories a cup when I've put cream in it.
That is pretty awesome. Definitely. If you've not tried it before, try the Beanies birthday cake flavour. That is pretty awesome. And
Once you've done that one.
oh, yeah, that's ticked off. We won't be doing that one again. Not tonight.
Although Angel's already had one.
Ooh. Makes me want to eat cake now. Amazing. Right, let's get back to these questions. Where are we? Escoty says we can still get the F15 for £60 and 42p plus post from Aria. There you go. So if you're looking for F15, Aria is the place to go. Actually, I haven't bought anything from Aria for a long time. In fact, actually, I can't remember the last time I did. Yeah,
It
maybe
reminds me of Scales.
I'll have to check them out. Milch Monster says, hey Mike, will we see a ITX build anytime? I would like to see a mini size max power ITX machine. Truthfully, probably not. It's very unlikely. I'll be completely honest with you, I do not like the ITX form factor. I think it's far too restrictive and far too expensive for what you get. Performance isn't always great. With the InWin A1, I did a build in that, and it was okay. It was a good case, and pretty much most things worked, but it's so cramped, it's so tiny. I can understand
The
it.
size of his balls.
Yeah, I can understand it for some people if you're limited on space, or you want a desktop to look really nice next to your monitor and you haven't got a lot going on, or maybe you're one of those people that doesn't really tinker or fiddle around with stuff very much, then I totally get it. But realistically, you're paying a lot of money for the miniaturization of a motherboard, which is generally a bad idea because PCs like room to breathe. Small PCs generally overheat or need reduced performance to get the same levels. So there probably won't be an ITX build. Unless something drastic happens and ITX comes down massively in price, I can't justify doing it. I really can't, because you just don't get the same performance as you would in its full-size counterparts for considerably less money. So it's unlikely. What's the matter, Kath?
Apparently you've got a sink.
Oh, have I? Well, that sucks. Okay, what else have we got here?
Yeah, you have. Your voice is still going when your mouth's not moving.
Have I gone out of sync?
Yeah. How do you solve that?
How do I solve that? Well, normally it doesn't go out of sync. So that is HD60. I'm trying to work out now how that's going to go. I know what I'll have to do. I'll have to... Oh, I know what it is. It's OBS. Now the reason I've gone out of sync here is because of schoolboy error. I've got my camera set to 50 FPS and I've got OBS set to 30. So because there's a kind of differential between it and it's processing it, that's why the problem has happened. So we'll have to address that. How bad is it, Cav?
I'll mute this one a minute.
Yeah, go on in. Popov147 says, hey Mike, I just ordered the GameMax F15 from Aria also. Could you confirm an Arctic Freezer 2 280 AIO cooler will fit in the top, given it's a bit thicker rather than most? I don't see any reason why it won't. I've not actually physically put my 240 in there yet to see if it will, but I don't see why it shouldn't.
Wait, stop. That's right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's in sync now, isn't it? Yeah, I'm in sync. Yay! Skystalker says you're in sync here. Awesome. ClickTech says not out of sync for me. Joker says I think it's just her. Weird.
It's not me.
Matthew Day says I refreshed and it's okay.
It was Matthew Day.
Thanks everybody. Okay. PB says, how do you clean your PC, Mike? Now, there is many ways of cleaning a PC. One of which is, thank you, is a microfiber cloth. Always a microfiber cloth is awesome. And actually, one thing I will recommend, can you grab those gloves for me, please, out of the cupboard? I left the other pair upstairs. I've got some fantastic new equipment for handling a PC. Now, because I'm starting to do a few PC builds for people, and because of obviously COVID and all that kind of stuff, I have invested in some white cotton gloves. So I can pretend to be Michael Jackson, not in a kind of kiddie touchy way. I'm being told to stop already. Tired and silly. So these are brilliant because they are 100% cotton. So very, very minimal static because you don't have nylon, all that kind of stuff. You get, I think it's 50 pairs in a pack for very, very little money. I think it's 50.
20.
Let's have a look. Kath's put me wrong again. Where are we? Gents gloves. Doesn't say how many pairs. There's at least 25 pairs. At least. Count them if you want.
I don't want them.
There we go. So these are brilliant. Tempered glass. You can pick it up and you don't get those fingerprints all over it. It's brilliant. You don't get greasy hands or dirty hands all over the equipment. These are brilliant. And also, obviously, it protects your hands as well. So if you've got a case which is a bit on the cheaper side, like probably one of the like CIT cases or something along those lines, a real budget thing, you know what I mean, which can be a little bit iffy, you're not going to get sliced to pieces. So these are going to be great. So yeah, these are, I'm really pleased with these. I've actually used them for the build I've done on Chris's PC, and they were brilliant. I didn't feel that it was kind of, I could still feel everything, and you can still grip things and what have you. Just it's nice because you don't get fingerprints over stuff, and also it's a barrier between you and the PC for COVID protection and all that kind of crazy stuff. So
And if I
yeah.
feel like playing snooker.
Yeah, and if Kath wants to play snooker, I was going to tell a joke then about a snooker joke, but I won't because it's over 18 joke, so I haven't set this stream as over 18. Maybe I'll say it in the Discord stream later. Oh, no, actually, there's probably youngsters in there as well, so maybe I won't. Maybe I'll save that for a special occasion when I'm trying to get banned.
Take one off on the moonwalk.
Moonwalk?
Yeah.
I can't moonwalk.
Go on, Dirty Diana across the room.
Dirty Diana right away across there, yeah. Dr. Mike, snooker ref.
Snooker loopy.
So microfiber cloth, those gloves are brilliant because obviously you don't get dirt and grease everywhere.
Why don't you moonwalk to snooker loopy?
Electrical contact cleaner is brilliant, and also an air duster. Air dusters are brilliant. If you haven't got an air duster, just get like an airline, blast it out. If you can, I know it sounds stupid, but try and protect the fans. Try and hold them in place while you're doing it, because if the fans spin too fast, you can damage the... Most fans these days, decent quality ones, have got like a hydraulic bearing in them. So there's two rubbers each end of the spindle, and it spins, and that fluid is what stops the fan from kind of wobbling on its axis a little bit. So if you spin it too fast, there's potential you could either tear the rubber or make some of that fluid come out of the bearing. So be careful with your fans if you are going to use any kind of high pressure hose or lance. Oh dear. Joker says, Mike, could you take a look at a case named the CIT Dark Star? I possibly could. I've got to be honest with you, I think my days of CIT cases are possibly over. Although saying that, some of the newer ones have come up in the rankings a little bit and not been quite so crap. So yeah, maybe I'll take a look at that.
You like the power supply?
Yeah, actually, the CIT power supply is good. I'm still using that, and I bought another one this week, I think, didn't I? That hasn't turned up yet, or is it? Why is that not turned up?
I haven't seen the receipt for it, so you probably haven't ordered it.
Oh, maybe I didn't. Thought I did. Anyway, never mind. Joker says, right, I'm going to bed now, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks, Jokers. Thanks for all your comments and questions. Captain Meets Adventures, Mike, I did not know you were in NSYNC. You still talking to Justin Timberlake. Do you know what? I actually went to a job once when I was doing the mobile technician stuff, and I turned up at an office, and the guy come down like his office complex, and he come down to the door, you buzz you in, and near the door he's like, "All right, Mike." He goes, "Do you know what? You look like a gay Justin Timberlake." He's like, "What? How can you even look gayer than Justin Timberlake? It's ridiculous."
Aww.
I do like Justin Timberlake, let's be fair, but... Oh dear, anyway, thought I'd share that with you. Matthew Bennett says, Kath can handle your balls. Thank you very much. It is my birthday soon, so. MM says, I use gloves like this for fishing. I'm glad you said fishing, not the other way. Matthew Bennett says, hello Kath, hope you're both well. Yeah, we're not doing too bad, are we? Bit tired, but this whole stay-at-home thing is absolutely ruining my sleep pattern. I basically...
You're ruining it.
Oh yeah, I'm ruining it, really. I've got like a kind of foot infection and it's driving me a little bit mad. It's quite itchy. And we go to bed about midnight, which for most adults isn't kind of that unusual. 11 to midnight is about right. But I always seem to not be able to get to sleep until about 2:30. Then I wake up at 3:30 and then the birds start singing at 5. And it's like everyone gets up around about sort of 9 o'clock-ish, thereabouts. And then I'm thinking, right, I am now actually tired and I would quite like to go to sleep. So then I go to sleep for a little bit and then the next thing I know, it's like midday, 1 o'clock, and it's like, oh crap, not a game. But if I get up at like 9, 10 o'clock like I did today, I feel absolutely ruined. Like,
Did you?
I did. I was working, but like not up. Anyway, yeah. So if this whole kind of lockdown thing is ruining your sleep pattern, let us know in the comments. Let me know that I'm not the only one. Sutton Joel says, Moonwalk, Mike, there's £5 in it for you. You're not even going to be able to see it. I haven't moonwalked in like...
Just put the webcam onto the floor and just do the feet.
Actually, I'm going to see if I can do it.
Can you move the webcam
before...
without breaking everything?
Oh, doesn't help that I got this microphone wrapped around me.
Pull your jeans up.
Pull my jeans up. Shamon, mother.
You could hula hoop. Yeah, that'd be nice on the...
There.
No, put the webcam there. The feet look good though.
There we go. I'm actually moonwalking. There we go. Anything for a £5. You know me. I am the YouTube media whore. Do anything for money. Anything else? Any other requests? I am your performing monkey at your service.
Doge did ask you to tell you the thingy, dab.
Okay. Sproaty says, do you still use the Game Max Strike keyboard? Funnily enough, no. At the moment, I'm still using my Rio Toro Prism and the Rio Toro mouse. But because I've got the Game Max case over there, I have been meaning to change over. But because of one thing or another, I haven't got around to doing it. This week has been mental. Because we did, for those of you who aren't regular or whatever, I did a complete office studio change. So all of this was gone. There was desks here. My main computer desk was gone. It was horrendous. So it was, yeah. And it's all gone back to how it was previously, kind of. Which has been mad. Skystalkers put in another Canadian $5. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Dab for Doge as well.
I got a dab for Doge. There we go.
I don't know if he's even in there at the moment. He'll miss it.
Yeah, if he's not there, you missed it. Richard says, evening all. Evening, Richard. How you doing? The Deep Cool Matrox 30 is only £26 delivered from Scan. Pretty good reviews from all the stateside tech tubers. Yeah, the Matrix 30 actually looks pretty good. There was a Matrix 55, I think, as well, which was on Hot UK Deals today, which I posted in our Discord chat, which was, I think, was 20-something pounds as well. Might have even been the same one. I think that was the one that Glenn said it was good, but because of the hole pattern on the front, you get a weird kind of whooshing noise of air where it's rushing through the holes. So I think that was the one. Maybe Glenn can chip in and verify that. Comma says, quality content. You must have another window open. Darren says, hi Mike, what processor and memory and graphics card would you suggest to get, not for gaming, but for CAD design, i.e. Blender modeling? Cheers. Well, Blender's going to make use of as many cores as you can throw at it, so depends what your budget is really. I'm not sure what graphics card Blender actually favours. I think Blender can work with OpenCL, OpenGL, OpenCL or CUDA, if I remember rightly. So,
I thought you
yeah.
the alphabet then.
I have swallowed the alphabet. It depends really what your budget is. I would say a multi-core processor, so 8 cores, realistically Ryzen 7 1700X, 2700X, anything like that should do the trick. Not entirely sure. Let me know what you're getting. Soton Joel says, I'll put my money where my mouth is, getting my credit card. You don't have to do that, I'm only joking. Matthew Day says, I wake up early, I put the radio on, then after a while I find I've missed an entire LBC presenter. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? What was I doing? I was doing something today and I was listening to something, and the next thing I know, it's like, wow, that ended and something else has started really quickly and I didn't even remember it. I sounded like that guy from Little Britain then, didn't I? Oh my god. Who's that? Who's sending all these things? Sotingel is going crazy. You've done it twice. With 50 croons, is that? I can't remember, but thank you, sir. Bless you. ClickTech says, do you want to come and finish off my office floor? There's a £5 in it for you. Do you know what? I absolutely love doing laminate flooring. Genuinely, I do. When me and Kath did all of the rooms in this house, well, all the rooms that have got it, so our bedroom, that was a big expanse. Yeah, apart from the landing in the hallway, we've done every room in the house. Well, kitchen we didn't do because that's tiles, but everything else is all laminate flooring, and we did it all ourselves. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. So yeah, I'd quite happily do that for £5. Captain Me's Adventures says, Mike, as YouTube's premier gay Timberlake, you can't stop the feeling. This is true, I can't. Shadow Dennis says, I'm building a Ryzen 7 2700, so I'm wondering which motherboard to choose. Gigabyte B450 Gaming X or ASRock B450 Steel Legend? Have to choose between the two. Personally, having owned both of them, I would probably go with the ASRock. I personally prefer ASRock's BIOS and their RGB implementation. The Gigabyte's okay, and it is a little bit cheaper, but I've got it in that system there, the Gaming X. It's okay, it does the job and it works well, and it actually does benchmark quite well as well. But there's just something about it I just don't quite like, which is weird because I used to always use Gigabyte boards on the previous AM3 and AM3 Plus platforms. Pretty much every board I had was Gigabyte. The DS3s, I had the 970A, I think it was. The 770 I think I had prior to that. So yeah, I had a lot of Gigabyte boards, but I don't know, something about it I just don't like. Stupid, really. Chris Solis says, AMD GPU and chipset driver problems. What will happen if you stick with working outdated drivers or stay with Microsoft's default drivers? Generally, if there's ever any issues for me, I've made loads of videos about it. If you've got a GPU or chipset driver problems, the first thing to do is to always get the chipset drivers from the manufacturer's website. Skip AMD's drivers altogether. The default ones installed from Microsoft are going to be okay, but try and get the drivers from the actual manufacturer's website. Sometimes they're slightly tweaked versions of the Catalyst or Adrenaline driver, or whatever it is these days for the chipset. So definitely get it from the motherboard manufacturer's site. Graphics wise, I would say the best thing to do is just use the Windows ones. If you don't need all the extra features like the Live or the GeForce Experience and all that kind of stuff, just use the Microsoft ones. If you're having issues, use the Microsoft ones. I find them to be pretty much 100% stable. Yeah, you don't come with all the bells and whistles, but you can still change your resolutions, your refresh rates, all that kind of stuff. Or alternatively, if you are having that many problems, check Windows. Make sure Windows is okay. Do check disk, make sure the file system's all working, all that kind of stuff. Those are the things you need to be doing. So, yeah, Windows drivers are fine. I need more coffee. What was that?
Can you answer a question on Instagram?
Okay, what coffee should we go for next? That was pretty good. So I've answered that. Stream's been on for 1 hour. It seems like a lot longer. Right, okay, we have a question here from active_KB. And what is the question? I have a question. I'm going to buy a PC. These are the specs. So Ryzen 5 2600, RX 570, 8 gigs of DDR4 3000, A320M-A Pro Max, and a 500 gig 860 Evo. I was wondering if all the parts were compatible with each other. Also, this is the case I'll be using, which is the CIT Raider, which actually looks very similar to the Colink Observatory, and kind of like the Corsair, what's the Corsair, the Crystal one, I think it's the 570.
It's half the tree on here.
So,
The username.
oh, is it half the tree, is it? Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, right, half the tree on there. I got you. Okay. So, Ryzen 5 2600 RX 570. It looks like you're building something of a gaming PC, or possibly a gaming PC. The A320M-A Pro Max, I would personally, if anything, change your 860 Evo drive, the 500 gig, for a cheaper model and spend some more money on a motherboard. Get a B450, either the HDV from ASRock. If you can squeeze it, get something like the Steel Legend or the Pro 4 from ASRock. It's going to be a much, much better board. The A320M, you've got no overclock in there, and the Ryzen 5 2600 can overclock pretty decent as well. Yeah, the A320M will work with it. It's not an issue, it will work. Just, I would say, arguably, there's a better board. And he's just saying there, hi, I'm watching you live. I know, I'm talking to you. I can see you. Well, I can see you here. You can see me there. Too much coffee already. But yeah, generally, I think you've got a pretty decent spec there, but I would certainly, if you can, maybe just squeeze a little bit more out of that motherboard, because you will find eventually that the motherboard isn't going to be the greatest. It'll work, it's fine. OEMs use them all the time for systems, even considerably more powerful systems. The A320 hasn't got any issues at all with any graphics card, so if you wanted to, you could put an RTX 2080 in there if you wanted. There's no problems with that at all, but you just might find that you're not going to be getting quite all you could out of the processor. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so half the tree answered your question. ClickTech says, the only gay in the village. I'm the only person, well, no, it's gone. Ricardo says, hi, Mike and Cav. Hi, Ricardo. Hope you're doing well. Mike, did you see the Gigabyte Z490 board launched this week? Your thoughts about Z490? Be honest with you, at the moment, Intel are completely kind of over there. There's nothing, well, I say there's nothing new. That's absolutely completely wrong, because there is lots of new stuff. We've got an entire new range of Intel processors, but cue surprise, we've got another motherboard as well. So they're just doing the same old, same old. It's essentially exactly the same chips, slightly refined, same pretty much node process, and another motherboard. It just makes no sense at all. If you've got more money than sense, and you want the very, very fastest clock speed gaming processor, fine, get an Intel. But if you're like a real person and you're not in the 1% of high earners, buy yourself an AM4 based setup. You get a lot more for your money. You get some flexibility for upgrade path. I would imagine, actually I will go out on a limb here and say that the Intel will have another platform change before AM5 comes out. I think that's pretty much a given. It's ridiculous.
What are you doing?
Matthew Day says you won't get any sleep if you are fully caffeinated. That is a good point.
As in caffeinated?
Caffeinated. I've been caffeinated by Cav. Won't be able to walk for a week. Glenn says, Mike, what's your guilty pleasure when it comes to movies? Guilty pleasure. What would be a? I don't know.
He's slapping my hand.
What would be a guilty pleasure?
Like the Tiger King, okay?
That's a difficult one. I'm not one of those people that kind of has any guilt about watching stuff. So I will listen to what I want to listen to when I want to listen to it, and I'll watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it. I won't say any of it's a guilty pleasure. I don't think there's anything that I would watch where if somebody come in the room, I'd be like, sorry, I was pausing that for somebody else. I can't think of anything, but I don't know. Guilty pleasure. I suppose if it was a film which is kind of like, which you wouldn't expect, which I quite enjoyed, Titanic, I think, would probably be what I would put into that kind of guilty pleasure.
You did kind of like Barbie, didn't you, when the kids were little?
Oh God, I didn't have much choice, did I? I had to watch that.
You used to leave it on when they'd go to bed.
I'm trying to think what
Finish it.
trying to think what else there would have been. No, that's a difficult one. I can't think of anything else guilty pleasure wise.
Barbie.
Barbie? No.
And that Barbie game on the Xbox, you loved it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sultan Joel says, Little Britain, great show, but nothing beats Bottom. This is very true.
Go on, do it.
No. ClickTech says, Bottom wasn't a patch on the Young Ones. The Young Ones was really good. But you have to be very old to remember the Young Ones, which is ironic. Captain Meese Adventure says, the whole of the tech world must be worrying about this crazy time. It is really weird. Sultan Joel says, Titanic. Ricardo says, thanks Mike, that's why I'll wait for the B550 AMD boards. I think that's a really good option. Wait for the B550. It can't be much longer. We're just nudging into May now. I would expect to see the boards, I think May 20th or May 21st. For some reason that seems to be in my head for the official product launches for the AMD B550, or for them to actually be available. So yeah, I think that would be it. Captain Meese Adventures says, Sultan Joel said, I called it Titanic. Yeah, that was a good shape. Captain Meese Adventures, Mike, you could be the Lex Luthor of YouTube. Oh dear, that's as long as I'm not the David Icke of the tech world, that would be difficult. Skystalker says, AMD has been true to their word with the AM4 platform. I am very happy with that. I think, yeah, pretty much I would say most of us that are in this chat at the moment, or have been in the chat, would agree that the AM4 platform, give or take, even since the very early days of the kind of the X370 when it first came out, with its kind of slightly iffy memory support and all that kind of stuff, I think generally it's been a fantastic platform all the way through, and I think it's going to be that people will become to remember it as like kind of one of the classic platforms, very much like the original X64 platform. The older, was it 754 and the 939? That was a great platform. There's an advert just come up on the stream. Did you do that?
No, I can't do things like that, I don't think.
That's like one of those, oh I know what it is because I copied this from last week's stream. So the Fisco shaver has just popped up as being something to watch. Oh dear. Oh, that works out. Glenn says, basically a film you are a little embarrassed about liking. Yeah, I'll probably go back to that then, Titanic. What else is there that I'm embarrassed about liking? Oh, what was that one with The Rock where he was dancing?
Oh, the ballet one, the little kids one.
Yeah. There was a film with The Rock in it where he was doing ballet with his daughter, I think, or his... There was some weird stuff. I'll have to find out what it was, but... Game Plan. He was an American footballer and he had to do ballet as well. And for some reason the ballet improved his gameplay or something along those lines. It was very bizarre. But yeah.
It was a rainy day on holiday.
It was a rainy day. We were on holiday. We were stuck in this huge kind of monolithic caravan with the superest comfortable sofa you've ever led on, and a massive TV, and something to watch.
Fire thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and a fake fireplace. So it was amazing.
Had a vacuum.
That was great. It was good. Ricardo says, hoping they don't change their mind in 5th gen Ryzen. Okay. Matthew Day says, Titanic, spoiler, it sinks. It does. ClickTech says, Tooth Fairy. No, Ricardo says June actually. Okay.
Nativity you liked.
Nativity, Nativity, that's pretty good.
You love all the kids ones. Shrek.
Shrek was alright. Sultan Joel says the X3 series has been great with the BIOS updates. I'm doing 3200 megahertz with Hynix RAM. That was unheard of in 2007. I think you mean probably 2017. But you never know, you might be a time traveller like, what was his name? John You were watching that video today?
Kennedy?
John Kennedy, that's the one. Been watching some conspiracy videos today to pass the time, and watched one today, literally watching it, and I'm there like,
Shocking.
absolutely shocking. A real eye-opener. So for those of you that are interested in conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff, let me know and I'll send you the link to it. It's a very long documentary, but it's like, wow. I totally
like
get it.
Run over by a bus at the end.
Yeah, you do. You feel like you've been hit by a bus at the end of it. It's like, whoa, information overload. But at least I know what's going to happen next, allegedly. Captain Meats Adventures says, guys, don't forget to wash your hands, especially after eating spicy crisps. Yeah, we've all been there. Or when you've rubbed your eyes, making some steak or something, you put some peppers, chili peppers, and then you're like, oh, cut some onions in, and you're like, oh, my eyes, pain, not good.
Again.
I'm not doing it again. That's a meme right there. ClickTech says Love Actually would be mine, but only because Stacey from Gavin and Stacey gets them out. Oh, okay, no, didn't know that. Might have to watch that. Although, is she Welsh in that as well? Because she's not really Welsh, she just pretends to be Welsh to get extra, like, work. Matthew Day says, are we likely to need 32 gigs of RAM soon? I don't think so. Most systems actually, unless you've got tons and tons of Chrome windows open, or tabs rather, most people can get away with 8 gigs still. People are still buying 8 gigs, and actually, we're in a really privileged position, whereas most of us here in the UK and in the US, and kind of, excuse me, are, we're lucky to get like 16 gigs, 32 gigs or more. But in a lot of places still, people are still asking me, Mike, should I buy like a Ryzen 3 1200, 8 gigs of RAM and an A320 motherboard? And when I first read it, it's like, well, why would you want that? But then thinking about it, in some countries where they're less developed or money is tight, or kind of like the cost of building a low-end PC is kind of like 2 or 3 or 4 months wages to some people, whereas to us it's kind of like maybe half a month's wages or whatever it is. So there's a massive disparity around the world of what people can afford and what is viable. So the older stuff, and certainly 8 gigs of RAM, even in some cases 4 gigs of RAM, Windows will load on it. I don't think we need 32 gigs of RAM yet. 16 I think is still the sweet spot, and I think it probably will be for quite a long time. I don't see that changing, because there's not going to be a new version of Windows, essentially, because we are kind of on this code base which is just going to evolve. There isn't going to be that big step up like when we had Windows Vista, which suddenly needed like double the RAM, or then maybe when we went from, where do we go next? Trying to think of the big jumps. Windows 2000 up to Windows XP, there was quite a jump there, so you went from kind of 256 of RAM up to 512 of RAM. There was those kind of moments where the operating system required it, but I don't think we're going to be getting that unless there is a new overall version of Windows. I can't see 32 gigs of RAM being the kind of like the norm. I really don't. And I don't think it's viable, because there's a massive emerging market. You got kind of South America, parts of China, you've got, where else is there? India. There's various markets where they're on a very low income. They can't afford it. So it's like the Steam hardware profile. You look at the Steam hardware profile, most people aren't rocking expensive graphics cards. There's like, the majority are using onboard graphics, like the Intel onboard graphics, that kind of stuff, or low-end chips. So that is pretty much where we are. Like dual core, quad core chips, 8 gigs of RAM, low-end graphics card. That's the sweet spot for a large percentage of the kind of intended user base. I think that's probably where it's going to stay. So I don't think it's going to be done. I don't think that's going to be it. Maybe I'm wrong. Captain Meats Adventures says, Mike, watch David Icke talking to True Geordie. David Icke, it's quite funny. I've watched a few of his things, and he doesn't let the interviewer very rarely get a word in. It's actually quite, And believe it or not, David Icke's been doing it for 30 years now. He's been telling people the same thing. And he says that at least 5-6 times every few minutes. I've been telling,
few minutes.
yeah,
5 or 6 times every few minutes.
I've been telling people this for the last 30 years, and he says it over and over. It's fantastic. I love
I
it.
suppose he's excited he's got that.
Yeah, he's probably at the point now where he can say, "I told you so."
That's what he's doing.
Matthew Day says, "Can I use my 2x8 gig set in my upgrade, or put in faster 4x4 setting, but fill all slots? This is DDR3." You could do either, really. There isn't as much as a speed deficit if you do 4x4 against 2x8 is what there is in the AM4 platform. DDR4, because of the way it works and the bandwidth, you downclock your RAM a little bit frequency-wise when you go 4x4, or at least in a lot of systems you do, depending on the motherboard, I suppose. Wayne Williams says, "I have 32 gigs of 4400 megahertz RAM and I like it." Awesome, that is cool.
Very.
What motherboard are you running that on actually, and what are you getting the full 4400 out of it? Be interested to know. ClickTech says, "Even in a Premiere Pro, I don't see much difference between 16 and 32 gigabytes." Yeah, actually, I probably... The only time I ever noticed it in Premiere was when I started doing some 4K footage, and then having 4K footage and then another overlay of 4K on top of it. That killed 16 gigs, so you have to use 32 for that. And saying that, actually, I think Premiere is getting more and more kind of memory heavy. I noticed it doing 1080p footage, 2 lots of it, kind of 50 frames per second, does knock the system back. If you've got maybe 2 or 3 different tracks going at the same time, that can start bogging it down a bit. And because now I've got my G7 and I've got my G80, I can have 2 8-bit 1080p streams at the same time, 50 frames per second. Glorious, absolutely glorious. So hopefully we'll be getting some much better footage when we're doing some unboxings in the future, because we'll have multiple angles, and yeah, it'll be a lot easier. Wayne says it's the MSI X570 Ace. That'd be why then. That is why you're getting it. Kevin Holmes says you're not out of sync. You might be, Kevin, because we asked that about half an hour ago. Or maybe that's why you're saying it. Okay. Where else we got? Jonas B says, "Can you rate RAM brands by popularity, efficiency?" That's a really difficult one to do. One of the easiest way of finding out what is popular RAM-wise, or what is a good purchase, or potentially a good purchase, is on Amazon. If you go to Amazon and click on bestsellers, and then go to the computing section, and then you can split it down to RAM, you'll see what people are buying. And generally, if there's a lot of people buying it and it goes towards the top of the list, there's a good reason for it. Either it's good quality or it's a good price. Hopefully, best of both. So that would be how I would particularly do that myself. I do that frequently actually when I'm looking at various things, motherboards, what is popular. Go into Amazon, go to bestsellers, go onto computers and motherboards, and you obviously Tomahawk's going to be at the top, but you do get to see what is popular and what people are buying. And obviously, if people are buying it, there's a good reason for it. That's basically what I'm saying. Matthew Day says, "It's definitely got rid of, did that sign move?" I've missed something there, am I? Not sure. Right, which coffee should we try next, Kath?
What are you up for?
So I'm not planning on sleeping.
I fancy the mocha.
I don't really fancy the mocha, but you can go for that. Sticky toffee pudding is got to be amongst the favourites. Cinnamon, hazelnut.
Hazelnut's quite nice. Isn't
Nutty hazelnut.
it? No, do it nicely. OCD.
Oh crap. Oh, blimey, that stinks. In a good way, Beanies, if you're watching. Beanies.co.uk. It smells a little bit like
Coffee and hazelnut.
yeah. Yeah, it tastes like
Smells like.
Cadbury whole nut. No,
I can't
that
smell
smells just like whole nut. So if you like your Cadbury whole nut, then the nutty hazelnut is the way to go.
A spoon.
Spoon? Here, have a spoon. So I don't know whether to have that or the cinnamon one. Or chai latte. What is a chai latte?
It's chai.
Well, what's chai? I don't know what that is.
It's like
It
a
just
herbal tea.
looks like it's just spelt wrong.
It's like a herbal tea.
Okay. Americano, that's just coffee, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't get how those are different because
How can you have flavour in an Americano? Because Americano is just coffee.
Americano is just black coffee and you add milk.
Yeah.
So
Sticky toffee, I think, has got to be the way forward. Well, I don't know. I think after smelling it, I think nutty hazelnut. Yeah, let's go for the nutty hazelnut. Let's slam one of those in. Sky Stalker says he said blimey. Cool, blimey, Gov. Matthew Day says just don't trust bestsellers for graphics cards. Number 4 is a GT 710. Yeah, that is a very, very good point actually. Do you know what? Actually, surprisingly, like the GT 710 is a turd of a graphics card. Let's be fair, it genuinely is. But they still sell an absolute metric ton of them. Like, how can that be the 4th most popular card in a computer? Why would you buy it? The GT 710 is worse than most onboard graphics on modern chipsets. I can't even think of a use case scenario where you'd buy a GT 710. I think I bought one probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. Only because it was for like a really, really basic video editing PC, which essentially just needed a graphics card to run. It's very, very bizarre. Yes, very odd. Captain Meets Adventure says Peanut drinks and likes chai. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna. Can you put a bit of water in it, Kath, to make it a little bit cooler, please? Thank you. Cheers, thanks. Wayne Williams says, looking for good RAM for the money, check out on Actually Hardcore Overclocking. Buildzoid goes RAM shopping, 2x8 gig and 2x16 gig RAM kits and recommendations. Well, there you go, there's an awesome place. Realistically, I think if you're buying RAM, the Corsair LPX you generally can't go wrong with. I've had really good experience with V-Color RAM. I find it to be very good and good value for money. Of course, you've got your Corsair RAM, you've got Thermal Take. The Tough RAM, if you want it to look a little bit glamorous, is really nice and actually not that expensive, so that's a good shout. But
Silicon Power.
yeah, Silicon Power actually, that's a good shout. Yeah, the Silicon Power RAM, that generally tends to use B-die chips or slightly binned B-die chips, and has actually been very good and pretty good value for money.
What did you say about the coffee?
Hey,
What would you say about the coffee?
could you put some water in it so I can drink it a bit quicker, please?
Ice?
No, just water. Thank you. Alright, Captain Me's Adventure says chai is cardamom and Indian spice tea. Now I know. Sky Stalker says graphics cards are a mystery for many people. To be honest with you, I think they are for pretty much all of us, unless you're really, really plugged in and kind of like you envelop all the information on a daily basis. It changes so quickly. Like, if you'd have said yesterday, is the Asus X570 XT Tough worth buying? Yesterday you'd have said no, but today you'd be like, actually yeah, it's a pretty good value option because they've got the new Evo version out, which has got the uprated fans, better cooler, and actually does perform fantastically well. A little bit on the noisy side for some, but that is a good option for some people. So depending on how much it comes out for, if it comes out for the same prices, because I've seen those for like £300 on UK Hot Deals, the older version, and people are like, why would you even think about buying that? It's rubbish. Don't buy it even at £300. It's a turd of a card. So if that comes out at 300 or 330, that is going to be a really good seller. Sky Stalker says G-Scale RAM is very good stuff. Yeah, that is very good. In fact, actually, Kath's computer's got the original the very first batch of G.Skill RGB RAM, the DDR2133, which had a XMP profile of 2400, still running there absolutely fine. It's a very good stuff. Right, let's see what this. So what flavour have we got? I've got nutty hazelnuts.
Yeah, both have.
Oh, let's see what this is like then. Perfect temperature, and actually very tasty. That tastes like something. I can't think what it tastes like. Starbucks. Hazelnut latte. That's what it is.
That's what it's meant to be. Well, not a latte, but
It tastes creamier
that might be
than a
because-
normal coffee.
That might be because I stirred it with my creamy spoon. That's not good.
That is pretty decent. Happy days. Right, so I think that pretty much wraps up everything that we were going to talk about tonight. Yeah, thanks for all your questions and thanks all for your super chats. Before we go, if you could all just wish Kath a happy birthday in the chat, we'd appreciate that a lot, and it'll make her smile because it is her birthday eve. You see, it's her birthday tomorrow. So if you want to message her on Discord tomorrow to wish her happy birthday, you're more than welcome to. She would appreciate that also. We've got one question come in, so I'll quickly answer that from Jonas, or a statement rather. I will move from Intel to AMD. RIP my Intel PC. I want to know if it will lose something moving to AMD. Any technology, virtualization, something Intel and AMD don't. No, I don't think so. Depending on how old your Intel PC is, you may actually find that you get more now out of the AMD PC because of the new extra features in there, AVX extensions, all that kind of stuff. So you might actually find you get something more. So yeah, hopefully that works out for you.
Instagram again.
Instagram, I've been Instagrammed. I've got another Instagram. Oh, let's have a look. I've got a message, got loads of messages.
They're still coming.
They're still coming, loads of messages. B450 Tomahawk Max, good choice. B450M Prime, not so bad. The HDV, okay. The DS3H, okay. There's a load of ones to choose from there. I'll have to answer that later on. I'll answer that privately because there's a load of choices there. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Matthew Day says happy birthday and thanks to the glamorous assistant. That'd be you. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, all of you. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for your continued support. If you've got any comments or questions, again, let us know and we'll try and answer them through the week. I will be going through the YouTube questions as well, so if you've answered any questions on the YouTube channel, on the various videos, we'll be going through those as well. Quite a few unboxings to do over the next coming days, which I've already pre-recorded, so those will be coming out. Trying to think what we've actually done.
Diffuser.
Oh yeah, we got another diffuser, which was actually brilliant. I really enjoyed doing that video. What else did we do? There was... Oh, we got another Discord fix. The Discord fix is a brilliant one. So many people are having problems with Discord at the moment because of not being able to hear people or getting muted or whatever. So we've updated the fix video, so that should be hitting tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow, 6 AM, so if you're up nice and early, not that I will be, I'll be probably just going to bed by then. So anyway, thanks everyone, thanks for your super chats. I'll be wrapping this up and then I'll be on our Discord chat. So if you want to jump on the Discord and have a chat after, is our post-stream whatever. You're more than welcome to join us, but in the meantime, I'll be Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next stream. Thanks for watching. Cheers guys, cheers everybody. Wow, far too much coffee. Not good.